Do you feel like you belong? Sometimes I feel like I belong nowhere. Of course, part of us and our feelings belong to our homeland, but not fully, or we wouldn't have left. There was something missing. I remember some time before making this decision to leave that I felt like there was not my place to be. I was not happy and I couldn't find a purpose on the things that I was doing at that time. So I decided to leave. After some years living abroad, some questions started to raise and some feelings started to bother me pretty much consistently. For a long time, I couldn't understand why, even after moving to different countries along the years, I never could feel that sense of belonging. I already didn't feel like I belonged before, and I still don't. And for a long time, I found myself at a place of frustration because all I wanted all along was to live abroad and to find a place I could feel at home. And once doing it and not finding that sense of belonging I for so long romanticized, I fell into frustration. Not rarely, I found myself questioning my decisions and doubting myself. Back then, when we made our decisions to move abroad, we had no idea what was about to come and what for issues we would concretely face other than language barrier and cultural shock. It took me some time to understand that I was searching for this sense of belonging in the wrong sources. It also took me some time to understand that, first of all, we should be wherever we want to. And the imagination that there is a place where we fully belong is an illusion. From this, we learn the most impactful truth. We will never fully belong anywhere. Second, we only move abroad because there is something telling us that our place to be is somewhere else. Whatever reason this is, we only move abroad when there is something missing. And third, no matter for how long I live in another country, I cannot change my roots. The language I first learned, the behavioral and cultural aspects I internalized since I was born. This is already part of me. I can live 5, 10, 20, 50 years in another country. I can learn the language perfectly and I can learn as much as I can about the culture. But I will never become a local. We need to accept with more compassion that we will always be a foreigner. And this is who we are. With living abroad, we are making a no-way-back decision. We are changing for good and for real our lives. And even if one day we decide to go back to our home country, we will never be the same. We are completely changed. So we cannot fall into the misconception that we made a wrong choice for not being able to meet those standards that we set early on this journey. Even more important, don't base your next decisions on it. We also cannot fall into the mistake of pursuing something that doesn't exist. We romanticize too much the sense of belonging, and this should never be the standard to measure how successful we are with our choice. Instead of romanticizing and overestimating the sense of belonging, we should be proud of our ability to transform ourselves and to always adapt to new circumstances, to soak in new cultures and experiences and transform our story into something to be proud of. And that is completely underrated. After realizing that, I really felt like I was in the right direction. What allows us to grow is exactly this feeling of moving forward in name of this purpose. And never stop. If you still feel like you don't belong, please be aware that this feeling might never be gone. It's part of who we are. And we need to learn how to deal with it, exactly how it is. Many times I asked myself if there was something wrong with me for not being able to fit in. But instead of thinking that there is something wrong with us, we need to let go of this misconception. There is nothing wrong with us for not being able to fit in. And the fact that we don't fit in does not mean we are inadequate. There is nothing wrong with us or with our choices. Definitely does not mean we cannot be anywhere else we want. If you ever felt this way, or if someone made you feel this way, please don't. You write your own story. Feeling like you don't belong actually reinforces, in a good way, who we are, and we should be proud of it. Should be proud for not fitting in. And what belongs is our purpose to us, and that we should never forget. And exactly because of it, there are tons of beautiful stories and experiences that make all of us unique and a true piece of human art. If you feel like you belong nowhere, please remember, we don't need to belong somewhere. What needs to belong are stories to our lifetime. And if we ever need to feel like we belong, let us belong to our essence, to our purpose. For all the expats out there, not belonging is not an issue, it's a virtue. Anywhere is your home as long as your heart is there. We will never fully belong somewhere. And what belongs to us are the beautiful things that one day will become part of our story. Living abroad is a bittersweet experience, but an experience that is worth living.